magical too. I loved it. Yeah, we didn't stay there very long, but it was, I loved it.
2 years
Just
ago.
loved it.
It's nice.
My kids went to school there for a little while.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh, nice.
learned how to sing in Hawaiian.
Hey,
Loved it.
yeah,
And you know.
But that was a long time ago now.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
then
live
it's just-
stream. Start the meeting. Continue on.
Not till I get ready.
Okay, when you're ready,
Are you
when you're
satisfied
ready.
now?
Okay. Start the meeting. First of all, we'll have the roll call. You want to call them off or you want to just
I can do it. Dale Collins,
hear?
Rose Bricker,
Here.
Yvonne McMillan. She's absent. Scott Austin,
Here.
Tyler Pellet,
Here.
Larry Sleeman, Lindy Young.
Yeah,
Okay. We had quite a few minutes the last time I see.
mhm.
Right, it's short.
They were
No, that's
great minutes. Thank you, Rose.
It,
I was like, right. Oh, here's Larry.
so are there any, did everyone get copies? Oh, here's Larry.
Yes. Hey, Lenny.
$5 fine for being late.
Okay.
I guess I have money, don't I? Join the lines of fines are cheaper. Okay, so are there any corrections, additions to the minutes?
No, I don't think so.
Everyone get a copy and read it and all that?
Yes, thank you.
If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes as printed.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
We have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, we have motion and a second to approve the minutes as printed. All those in favor say aye.
Right.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay. Can we do anything with his action confirming? You wanted to redo all this?
Yeah,
Oh,
here.
that's in the minute.
You go back there.
Oh, it's fun. So I guess the music in the park, we have some stuff you want to discuss on that?
Yes, so we do have our final band list. And I will have some here if anyone wants to distribute some.
We're gonna coordinate with these then?
Yeah, it would be good.
Okay.
I didn't bring a whole lot, but yes, it would be
I'm
good.
down to help.
So these are going to be the marketing.
Yes.
Materials.
Great.
So
Are you, don't have enough of these?
what? Oh, you can just leave it there. I'll pick it up.
You could put that one up.
Yeah, that's for you to put up. Yeah, take one. Oh, that's right. You didn't take one. It was Dale's. Okay. So as you can see, I think it's probably hard to remember back, but I think most all of the bands that were on the top list ended up confirming and being able to
Okay,
work with us. I think there was one, and I cannot remember it right now because I've had a long day, that wasn't available any longer on the dates that they were available. So it might have been Phoenix that we put in that spot.
I don't think
So-
these are any bands we've had before.
We've had DRTR, Tin Can
Yeah.
Alley maybe a number of years ago.
mhm.
Yeah. But yeah, some new bands. We all seemed really excited to play, so that's good.
Only 7 evenings, 7 times.
Could be eight.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's 8.
wait a minute, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Never mind,
Yep.
I can't count very well. It's okay.
So we, yes, as Rose said, coordinating the distribution efforts would be good. We have some time. We want to try to get them up here this month, earlier part of this month. So people can start thinking about it.
Next month. or-
But we do still have some time, so there's not a big hurry. So I'll send an email out about that, just to everyone to see if you can help out. I'll write myself a note here. So that is settled, which is great. That's always the biggest
Mhm.
part to get this going, is to get the bands to get coordinated and agree. So thank you, everyone. I think it went really smooth, much more smooth this year than last year. I think every year we've been getting better about this
Yeah,
process, and
sure.
I think it went really well this year, so.
So I have a question. Are we paying these bands or are they being sponsored by somebody else?
We
I'm just curious.
we are receiving the sponsorship donations, the city is, and then we will in turn pay the bands the
Okay.
$200 for each band.
200?
Mhm. We may want to talk about that at the end of our season this year. I did have several bands that said they weren't going to be able to continue to apply because, well, as you know, inflation's gone up. Some bands
Yeah.
are bigger, they have more people in their band, it's harder.
Okay.
So we might just want to look at it and see what other smaller communities are doing, not like Corvallis, but smaller
Yeah.
communities, like Independence is a little bigger than us. What do they do?
Mhm.
There's some other, Monmouth, I think, has a Music in the Park concert series, so we might want to do a little research and just see what other communities are
Okay.
doing, and do we need to come up? Obviously, we're still getting people interested more than we have spots for, so I don't think it's a huge issue, but we might just want to take a look and see what the best
Okay.
practices are.
Did we struggle to get sponsors for this year?
So, no, I have not received the full $1,600 in sponsorship money yet. I reached out to the sponsors from last year. One I have not heard back from at all. One said that they weren't sure if they still wanted to do sponsorships. I think they're changing their business or something like that. But we did get Pioneer Connect and Strengthening Rural Families. And then on the little flyer, you'll see the library dates. They're kind of small, but they're on there.
Oh.
So I may update this, but at least these have the library dates on them. The reason I put them on the small one is last year the library said quite a few dates and then they have some staffing issues and were unable
Oh.
to come. So I kind of didn't want it on the big flyer, but I did put on these little ones because then if we do have to update these, they're easier to distribute all of these and kind of update information. So just in case. So yeah.
Just a question, and you may have already answered it, and I wasn't paying attention.
Mhm.
The $200 per band, 8 bands, $1,600. That's the spot, that comes from the sponsorship, so that none of that comes from the city at all.
Well, the city budgets that amount of money now, we didn't
Okay.
used to. It used to literally be on what can you all, so we are budgeting it, but we're budgeting it with the intention that the park board or us, the, coordinators of Music in the Park are trying to get donations back
Okay.
to cover that. So if there were some reason that we lost the sponsor, we still have money that we could fall back on.
Well, and
Which is
the
good.
other reason I was asking that is I assume budgets are being put together now.
Yes.
And if we think there should be more than $200,
Mhm.
maybe we should, push that up to 250 just for a budgetary.
Yeah, I think we already budget $1,800 in there. Actually, there's a couple $100 additional that we put in there. And if needed, again, like we just would need to try to boost what we're bringing in and we can balance that out. A line item sometimes will go slightly over as long as we're okay on the bottom line, a few $100. If we had to make that adjustment, it's not a huge deal. We can, make an adjustment for that because we don't have that information right now. And we're probably not going to have that until the end of the year after we kind of debrief
Right.
after.
How much does
Everything.
Pioneer Connect? What's their, but what's when they could,
They've sponsored $1,000 last year and this year.
because they want to be the major sponsor.
They like being the
That's
main.
Pioneer.
Yes.
Mhm.
Mhm.
But and some of the bands have their own tip jars too,
Mhm.
but we don't really,
Yeah, we don't regulate that. That's
we don't say, no, you can't have. that.
right. And, if that's something that they need to do to be able to come do it, great. I do know that last time there was a little bit of confusion. I think we've talked about trying to, I think it might be good if we have a table or something that really shows where the Philomath Performing Arts Benefit Fund sponsor, like, we need to show that better.
Yeah,
Not just when we're walking around, like
Right.
we still may walk around and ask people, but before, like when people are showing up, before we say something at the, break in the middle, there's that presence should be there, because I think that's what was confusing. Was that we weren't going around yet with the donation, and then they had a tip collection. I think there were some people that were confused, like, is
Mhm.
that for the
Yeah.
performing arts? So I do think that, again, I haven't had any time, but reaching out to, I think Yvonne said she was going to be able to kind of talk to the Performing Arts Benefit Fund folks. Because if they could provide a little bit more to help us do a better job with
Mhm.
fundraising for them, I think it would go a long way for us if they have a banner
Yeah,
that they could provide, even if it's small, that we could put on the table, just something that to help us do that. I think that will maybe minimize that
sense.
confusion.
Okay,
People
came
having
with me
tips.
involved, I think, and.
Yes,
She collects the money,
Get
yeah.
to the right sources, so we don't get in trouble with it. I
right.
guess
I
the
s-
IRS.
Well, and I think the other thing, and maybe I know you put together blurbs for us to say, is that the sponsors provide money for the bands,
Mhm.
and then this money goes to
Right.
performing arts, so that, because that's where I get confused, is that, okay, so are we spending this money
Mhm.
here or where? is it going? And, try to inform people a little bit.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good feedback.
I still have the other
The
big
jug.
bottle jug.
Okay, you can hold on to that for a while,
Okay.
please, because
Yeah.
they end up in my office and got a lot of stuff in there right now, so.
Okay, all right. Okay. I'll
I
let it
do,
be.
I already have a jug too, so you and I are on
Do we
the
need
same
two
page.
jugs though?
Um,
Why do we have two,
I don't know. I think it's a backup.
I-
We
I
could
think
probably
break-
find a place to
that's
store
definitely what
it.
it is.
It's a backup.
That's what
How
it
about
was.
Chris's office?
I think it was a backup in case someone ends
Yeah.
up with it and we can't.
I think that's what
create it.
happened.
That is what
Yeah.
happened. That's why we got that second one.
Okay, all right. I won't complain.
Okay.
I
So
think his name is Chris.
maybe, you're not sure the name.
Can we talk a little bit about like what our role is?
Yeah.
On these days of these
Yeah,
events?
since we have some new members. I'm
Particularly.
actually just getting to that.
Oh, good.
The rookie members
The
have
young
a lot of
guys, yes.
responsibility.
Yeah, anyone who's new.
Glad you asked.
We'll get him spelled out.
It's like,
I'm glad you asked. Okay, so another thing that I'm trying to streamline this year, because we started streamlining the band selection last year, is the volunteer aspect of the park board members.
Mhm.
So essentially, the park
I have
board
Oh, this is.
hosts the event.
Hmm.
So the park board is not only the park board for Park Board Matters, the park board is the music in the park. This is how music in the park happens. We obviously have city staff that does assist. That was Chris, our city manager. When I got here, he said it's me now, so it's me now. Right. So, and I love music in the park, don't get me wrong. But this year, what I'm trying to do is streamline. It is online. If anyone needs help, I'll encourage you to reach out to me, but I've made a sign up genius,
Oh,
which is this link. So basically, if you go to that link, there are dates on there and there are jobs on there to try to be more specific. So this year, what I'm looking to do is
this one?
Thursdays, I'm here and I can just roll over to the park really easily. And so there'll be like a 5 o'clock to 7 o'clock post. It's kind of going to get there a little early, make sure the band's not having any issues.
5 to 7.
Yeah, I want to make sure this year that everyone has my work cell number so that when I'm not there, if you do have an
Yeah.
issue, I'm
Okay,
gonna
that's a
try
good
to
idea.
have more information for you. Like if there's an issue with the building, the plumbing, please call Public
Mhm,
Works. If
mhm.
there's any kind of this issue, call Chelsea. So that if someone is there, no one's feeling panicked, like I don't know what to do if something goes wrong here.
Sure.
So we'll kind of have that 5 to 7, like host, I'm calling it the host, the main
Mhm.
host who's kind of there welcoming the band. If the library is coming, you're saying, hey, you can set up over there. Anything like that. So that's what that would involve. And then we've tried to have about 3 people at each event. I think we settled on that was a good amount. And then if someone doesn't show up for some reason, has something last minute, it's not a hardship on one person.
Mondays, Thursdays and Sundays, right?
Yeah, so for each concert, and so for Thursdays, it would just be 2 park board members because I will plan to go there unless I have something that comes up that I cannot get out of. I'll plan to go there and get things rolling and then people, you'll show up and, so one of those people is going to be kind of the MC / donation gatherer. So you're kind of there just as a presence. If people have questions, they'll ask you. But also we need to have someone who during the band break will be able to get up and talk. Please do not sign up for that if you can't get up and talk, but if no one signs up for it, I am going to start pointing fingers at people.
So what would you like us, in the beginning, there's going to be the introduction. This is the band, welcome, welcome, thanks for coming, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
What do we talk about in the interim?
So I think we're not going to, I think we talked about not talking at the beginning.
Oh, at the
We're
beginning,
going to
we'll
tell
have
the
it in the middle.
band,
Oh, okay.
here you
Yeah.
are, great, have a good time,
Okay.
start your set. For some bands, they were like, yes, that's great, that works. For other bands, that kind of threw them off, like they're like, this
They
is-
want to start right away.
we don't
Yeah.
want talking, we want to just get the people
okay.
dancing and engaged. So I think we decided that let's let them do that. They take a break at some point, so we just want to let them know, whoever's there in that
Okay.
5 o'clock window will communicate with the band and say, hi, we'd love to borrow your microphone during the, your
okay.
break, and we will just get up there and have a really quick spiel if you don't mind, thank you. And during that, you will say, thank you to the sponsors, and we are here with, this is an event that is benefiting the Philomath Performing Arts Benefit Fund. We have a couple of park board members that are going to walk around with donation jugs. Please donate if you can. Really brief, nothing major.
Will there be a script or?
So I can do that this year, but I'm gonna try to streamline it because trying to get it out like before the meeting to everyone was really stressful for me to try to remember. And I was sometimes like literally trying to have dinner with my kids and, oh, I didn't do that. So I don't want to do that again. So that's something on my end, but I'm just going to try to make a very generic, here is the script,
Okay.
fill in the band, fill in,
Yes.
so it's pretty
Yeah.
generic. You can say the same thing at everyone. And so that will be a role, is to do that. And then there'll be someone who's just kind of a co-host / helping with the donation. So those are the 3 roles that I put on this Sign Up Genius. And you'll
Okay.
see explanations on there. And like I said, if you have issues with this or it's hard or complicated, I can help with that. So just reach out to me and I can sign people up for those dates and roles. So
Can you send another one around?
you didn't get one.
Yeah. So this is for us.
That's for you.
It's not for us to go out and
No.
recruit other people.
That's for you.
That makes
We
sense.
did talk about trying to get some of the students involved that are like the Performing Arts Benefit
yeah.
Fund students
Oh,
that
yeah.
are, get the organization more involved. So I'm not sure that we're not going to still try to do that. It would be really great. It seems like there are a lot of us here, but it is summer and it's 8 events. And even if you're only having 3 people at each event, it gets spread a little thin sometimes. So it would be great if we could get some other people that are in organizations tied to this whole thing to send a person to help with donations and just kind of being there. So we'll talk more about that later, especially as we all have a chance to look at the
Did we
calendar.
ever get a school band?
Yes, so I believe both the high school and the middle school are playing on May 18th.
You have
Okay.
a volunteer who's designated for after the event is done with the money.
Well,
Or no,
I don't,
the-
because the
they take
performing
it.
arts, they should be taking it. Yes, so they should be.
Oh, so
I do
like
need to
Kay
get them
McGee will
those
be
dates.
taking the money? She can fish it out of the thing.
Yeah, well,
He's gonna go to every event.
Well, you just. make-
last year she went to almost every
Yeah,
event.
she did.
I think there was just one that I ended up
Mhm.
bringing the money back here.
Well, it seemed like if she can't be there, somebody.
And
from
she
the
did have
organization-
another board member come to one of the
organization
meetings.
That's
Mhm.
true. Mhm.
So yeah, the fishing the money out, that is going to be the people who are doing the donations when you're done and
Mhm.
like you
Part of the
start
job.
fishing it out. And I can provide an envelope or something, just something that makes that easier. If there's something that you can think of that would make it easier. But I think everyone last year voted that they really like the jug, even though it's a pain to get the money out. It's kind of like a game, you know?
Oh, it's a
Come on,
game,
you've Got the
alright.
tongs and you're just pulling the dollars out. Yeah,
The area
it's
is
good
not
times.
that big around.
This is making you want
We
to
haven't
sign up for
experienced
that role,
yet, have you?
right?
We'll make him do it.
Yeah.
Have like a bank.
I'm imagining some kind of game of operation.
A zipper bag. Yeah, and, you know,
Something not.
Kay
see-through.
might have one of those too. I can ask her.
What is it?
Yeah,
Like
like
a
a
bank
banker
bag?
bag.
Oh, I
Mhm.
got 2 or 3 of them.
Oh, yeah.
Do you?
okay.
And then do we have a stash of the shirts from last year for our new peeps?
I need to get more, although let's talk about that. And I will tell you that there's a public works meeting scheduled at 7. I'm just gonna tell you that because I should say that.
I will not be here for maybe July 30th and August 17th.
Okay. Let's talk about the shirts.
Shirts.
So
Okay.
we have the polos that at some point, I don't know who decided on them, but voted on them. Since I have come here, what I hear about the polos is they're too hot. We don't like them. We wish we had t-shirts. Why do we have these polos?
And I wish they had a pocket.
I wish they had a pocket, whatever. So
They're kind of itchy.
what I wonder is because at this point, there are members that don't have polos. We don't have just a stock of them anymore. I'm wondering if I should see if a little bit of that extra money that we budgeted for, if we could use that to get shirts, because I'm gonna have to buy them anyway for some members and might you all be interested in looking at different, like some t-shirts? They should be pretty affordable for us to get.
You should have told them they gotta pay for them themselves.
Here, like, double for new members.
Just wanna sign it.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so we've had the polo shirts in the past for when you're at the meetings, or if you're at an event of some sort, you could wear it. We talked about getting name tags. The council has name tags. That's another option rather than having a shirt, but it's not as easy, you know, when the council member is at an event, as a council member, you notice that they're a council member and what's your name.
Mhm.
When you're all wandering around in the crowds, people don't always look for name tags. So I think that was part of it, is to make
Shirt
a
is more,
uniform shirt.
Yeah.
Where people could speak to you. Okay, I'm gonna look at that and I'll report on that next month. Okay, thank you for bringing that up.
Before we go into the next agenda, item, I'd like to give a big shout out for Chelsea. She's really made a big difference in
absolutely.
how
Yeah.
we was all stumbling around trying to find bands and everything. I mean,
Mhm.
we survived. but-
Yeah. No, it's nice to have an organizer,
Yes.
which is
Well,
what you
again,
are.
yeah, having extra capacity in the city is, you know, it is very hard when you don't have enough staff. We still don't have enough staff, but
But we
a
didn't know
little
what
bit
we were
better.
doing.
So thank you. I appreciate that.
Good at what you do.
I'm just trying to make it easier on
Mhm.
everyone. So I
Okay,
hope it is
thank you.
doing that. Thanks, Dale.
Okay, the next item on our agenda
Oh,
is,
so anything else? Does anyone have
Oh.
anything else to add?
oh, I'm sorry, I'm.
Question, did
I
that
guess
explanation
not.
of Judy's kind of,
Absolutely.
okay.
Yeah.
When
Right.
is the deadline for us to sign up?
I don't have a deadline yet, but if I'm thinking our first, I just say by the end of the month, if you could sign up, our first concert is May 18th. The weather could be, we don't know. The weather's been pretty dicey this year already, so
Predictable.
I don't know. I don't know if the school cancels. I haven't really been part of that, so I guess there's a chance that we could get there and the school says, we are not bringing our students out of this. I don't know what they do in that circumstance, so
Won't snow in May,
so
sure.
keep us on our toes. Yeah, so by the end of the month, if you could take a look at that and see if you can put some dates in, and then I will kind of gather that and see where we have gaps and what we can do.
So you'll
Try to
send
fix
out
that.
a roster?
I can send out a link. I'll send a link to you
A
too for
link,
this.
Okay.
So that you don't have to do
Is
that.
June 15th, is this actually a band or is this a, tell you how to, kind of garden?
That's the date. Oh, that's the band.
Vegetables, is this gonna tell us
Root
who
vegetable?
else has signed up
Yeah.
for dates? so
It
that
should.
we- Okay, is there a problem for having more than 3 people per date, or is it like if we see that one is full, should we just look it up?
There's not a problem, but you could definitely come or just send me an email. We're not,
Correct.
you know, I'm always here and reachable, so just email me.
I mean-
That doesn't have to be that informal. I'm just trying to make it so people can see what's going on, or if you have to cancel,
Right,
that it's sending me a notification saying I have to cancel that so that I know that maybe I need to be there if I wasn't going to be, or we need another staff member there. It just helps us.
okay.
Okay, any other questions on
No, I
that?
don't think so at this
Okay.
point.
I think we can move ahead.
Okay, okay, so next is number 4, the park updates. You wanna
Yes.
Take that on.
I do want to take that one. So I would like to update on our couple park projects that we're working on. One is the skate park. So I've drafted a request for proposals for the skate park feasibility study. I hope to get that out this week, maybe even tomorrow. Feeling pretty optimistic about it. I put tomorrow as the date on it. And so I'll get that out to the companies that have expressed interest. I think a couple of our former park board members were working with a company. I'll send it to them. Post it on the website. If any of you are on Facebook, I'll probably put it on Facebook if you can share it with any companies that you know that do park related skate park. If they build skate parks, they probably do this kind of work or know people that do this kind of work. So if you could spread the word, that would be great. And then we'll get those back and see where we are.
Is it, you're gonna tear down the old one and start from scratch, I guess, or whatever?
Yes.
And I guess that other was pretty much it.
Yeah, it's past its life. It's done a lot of work over the years, I think, but yes, so they'll look at locations that we have that could potentially have the skate park, because when we had our parks and trails master plan update, one of the things that they identified is that's not necessarily the best spot for your skate park, like for a skate park today. That if you were building a skate park today, they look at different things than maybe tucking it into city park. So they'll look at a couple locations that we have and kind of give us recommendations on, yeah, absolutely wouldn't work here. We don't recommend it. Doesn't mean you have to go with their recommendations. They're just going to make recommendations. And then we'll take a look at it. And then basic design. So I'm asking for them to have like a community meeting of some sort, get some community input somehow. I know we got a lot of community input in the past, but since this is actually a project that we're trying to move forward with, we want to get that input again. Things change. You get all kinds of new ideas come up for these types of parks. So get community feedback and then have them try to give us a general design concept of what they think we should put in. So that's what we're looking for.
My daughter visited this weekend and we didn't go and look at the skate park, but she's been there many times. And what she had a suggestion, and that is to make it not too simplistic so that kids who can skate will still be able to enjoy it.
Yes, and I think that some of the feedback was to make sure that there are elements for people who are experienced and people who are not, and that they can both enjoy the space.
Whereas this one, I guess, is not,
Right,
it's not,
right. Yeah.
suitable.
I know that was headed up by the Dr. Groove and Dr. Cutsworth's boys, was in on
Mhm.
getting that all going.
Yeah.
Wasn't it like a senior project or something?
It could have been.
Oh, okay.
Then it was built by an outfit that was designed built. And that was a trade-off they did, so they didn't have to pay for some of the expansion of stuff going on in the city and those.
Oh, I
This
see.
goes back to
Yeah.
the 70s or 80s.
Yeah, it is probably. So they were, or the city or whoever is contemplating perhaps having another venue for it then, is that right?
It's a possibility,
That's
you know,
interesting.
we need to
Okay.
look into building in that area, you know, Newton Creek runs through there, how
Yes.
close can we actually get in
Not close.
today's
Yeah.
world with buildings? So this is you know, what you used to do has changed a lot.
It's probably the
The-
floodplain.
And the riparian areas and all of that, so,
Yep.
yeah, so we definitely want to
Yeah.
look into that, those
Not
are
as
things
bad
that we
as
have to
it used
consider.
be, though.
Yeah.
In fact, a lot of it fixed.
We
Mhm.
should look into who designed and built the Lebanon skate park. The
Mm,
Lebanon
Lebanon.
skate park is really, compared to ours,
Mhm.
it's got a really good mix of skill levels. and It's not huge. And I wonder who built that.
Have you been to
one.
the Newport one?
No.
Newport,
I have.
yes, but not in like 10 years.
Where's the
So
Newport?
that'll
I
change.
like their design.
Yeah.
Okay.
So a city of Vernonia just built kind of a skate slash pump track. I know we've talked about in the past, that was one of the recommendations from the consultant was to look at a kind of a hybrid situation. Yeah, okay, so city of,
City, I think.
yeah, city of Vernonia just built one and it's nice and small because it's a small place. And it's a lot like that. It's really great. So there's a lot of designers now that are doing that more and
Okay.
more. So yeah, I'm just hopeful that we get, you know, at least a few people submitting for the project and that we've hit the number, the financial aspect of it
Yeah.
correctly so that they feel like they can, you know, submit a proposal. So
If we wanted to look into that more, is there a way that we can, what we call the Lebanon Park Advisory Board and ask them, hey, do you guys know who built your skate park?
yeah, I can get a hold of their staff. Yeah, I know. I know a lot of people out there in
Anyone.
Lebanon. Mhm. Okay, yeah, so that's what I have on the skate park. Any other questions on there?
Do we know, do people skate to the skate park or do they drive to the skate park?
Well, that's one of the questions.
Yeah.
Is how are people getting there? Where is it located? They are by the school, so a lot of people say, well, when the kids get out of school, they're right there.
Yeah.
So there is that. I think a lot of kids just, they wheel there.
Mhm.
But if you can't wheel there, you're walking there, you know.
If you can drive, you're probably not driving to our skate park.
Yeah.
Probably going.
Right,
Yeah.
driving
That's
driving
true
past
too,
our skate
yeah,
park, maybe.
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, right. We
Well,
want people
Izzy-
to want to be like stay here and use the skate park here. Right?
Izzy will be glad that you addressed this.
Yeah. We usually have an update every meeting. It just hasn't been moving very
Yeah.
fast at this point, but it's exciting news. Okay, the Veterans Memorial Park, Paul Cochran Veterans Memorial Park. We got the final plans. There was a little bit of a delay there. Designer, I think, had an illness or vacation or something. But we have the plans and they are with our city engineer right now. They're drafting up an invitation to bid. I thought I would have heard back by today and I didn't have time to get an update, but we should be getting that out soon as well. So that'll be like on our website again. We'll publish that out for contractors. So that's exciting.
So when you know, when they're going to be, when the plan is done,
Mhm.
I can let the Rotary Club know
You guys are
where
putting,
their pole will be.
you guys are putting 2 trees in there, aren't you?
Yeah, but that's Scovin Park.
Oh, Scarborough,
Yeah.
that's right.
Okay, so that's my update on that. Yep, I think that's my
Thank you.
park updates.
Did Public Works have any comment about the Triangle Park?
Triangle Park?
issue?
So they did. I don't know that we've come up with a
If we
full
need to table it,
solution.
get it.
We don't have to table it, yeah. So Triangle Park, Rose had sent an email that someone contacted her about a hole in the fence.
Mhm.
The top bar,
Okay.
because over by the basketball courts, when the ball goes over the court, they hop over the fence, and that bar has been hopped over so many times. So Public Works went out there and fixed the bar, which apparently they've had to do before, but that doesn't stop the problem of basketballs going onto the railroad
Mhm.
tracks. And now
Oh.
people are going all the way around. And the person that I spoke with who lives in the area said that the rim on the basketball hoop is larger because it lasts longer, it's thicker, but that also makes the ball a lot more bouncy. And
Ooh.
so it's making it kind of
Oh,
bounce that direction of the railroad tracks. So one of the suggestions that I talked with Chelsea about is even if it's like a piece of fence that's just by the basketball court, but some other blocking
to stop the ball going
mechanism
there.
so that balls don't go on the tracks.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I did talk to Public Works. They fixed the top part, like
Mhm.
Rose said, it
Okay.
has, not the first time they fixed it.
Mhm.
We're looking at options. It's a tough situation because the reality is that I'm not sure that we could ever mitigate that issue. We've also heard a lot of people in the past years that say kids throw balls over that fence. I don't know. I don't live there.
Mhm.
I'm not sure, but I've heard that as well. And there's no way that we can eliminate that from happening.
Yeah.
That's,
Yeah.
tough. So, yes, we're looking at a way that we can try to keep the basketball situation there, because that is a possibility too, is that if
Just
this
take
is
it away.
going to continue to be an issue and the fence is continuing to be destroyed, is it just not the right type
Yeah.
of activity for that location anymore? Maybe there's a different activity that we could put in there.
Mhm.
So that is not the first thought, right? We want to
Right.
keep activities out for
Heavily
people.
used, that'd be a bummer.
Right, it would be. So we're trying to look at that and see what we can do to mitigate the situation. We just haven't quite come up with a solution, but I did put it out there to Public Works to think about it and kind of assess it, see what they can come up with.
Mhm.
Yeah. So not a full
Does
update,
the
but
railroad have any responsibility
no.
about
No.
safety?
Yeah,
No?
the
I don't think so.
railroad is
Good luck.
yes, it
That's
is.
what everyone's told me when
Yeah,
I say
you-
railroad.
Yeah, there's pretty
Gotcha.
much no.
Loud
If
and
it-
clear.
Just if it's railroad, no.
We're
The answer is no.
We're fortunate we can have 2 crossings in this town.
Yeah, and if we tried to
Believe
have
me.
another one, it would be a
Yeah.
very difficult thing to do. Yeah, it is.
Railroad tell you that we had the right of way first.
Yeah, it just is it's very tough.
Fair
Yeah.
enough. All right.
Yeah, I know. It'd be nice, but no. Okay, so that's all I have on park updates unless anyone have any other questions.
Any other questions?
Well, what about, is this on, I beg your pardon. No, that's fine. Go ahead.
So let's go with the let's pull together
Yeah.
event to May the 20th.
Yeah, I just wanted to put that one as a placeholder. That's the event that Benton Soil and Water Conservation District sponsored last year
Mhm.
in Marys River Park. They're coming back.
May 20th. Okay.
Yeah, they would love if any park board members could come. I think last year Carol went, did you go?
Yeah, and Sandy was
I
there.
went.
Yeah, and they really appreciate that too. If there's someone who can say, hi, we're from the park board. Thank you
Mhm.
for coming and, doing this. So if there's anyone who can attend, that would be great.
Is
Is
that
that a-
pulling the camas tubers?
No,
what are we
this
pulling?
is
No,
ivy.
pulling ivy off the
Okay.
trees.
Sounds right up
ID.
my alley.
And what's the other
Sounds
thing?
right up
Something
my
else they
alley.
were digging up
Yeah.
to.
They cut a lot of it, just to make the barrier like
Mhm.
you see with and they did some like invasive blackberry
Yeah.
Blackberries.
vines last year too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think some got pulled last year, the chemists.
Mhm.
They had to go in.
They were
Oh,
moving.
that was a different situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a different day.
We
We
had
dug
some
up coal.
moved, right?
Is
Yeah.
there, the time on that, I think it was like 10 to noon or something.
Yeah, it was just like 2 hours.
Yeah, I
It
think
was
it's
very
about the
quickly.
same time frame. We'll have more information. I think they just put it on their website, but they usually provide me with like some
Mm.
materials to post and share.
Is that a
so
Saturday?
I think it
Yes,
is a Saturday, yeah. Mhm.
May 20th. Okay, thank you. I will try to be there.
So,
Did we get, we passed to add to the.
The name change?
Yes.
Yeah, that got approved
Yep.
by the city council.
But
yes,
have they put the sign up?
Not yet.
we're
Oh,
still,
yeah,
the sign,
There's
Rose.
someone that was.
I know.
Oh,
They were gonna talk to
the charge.
Not
for it?
someone
Rose
in
was
the
going to check into the sign. That's on Rose. That's okay.
I'm
Rose is
ready.
writing a note. Rose and I both have notes here. Okay. Okay. So I did add this time and I'd like to keep it on there. The agenda item for board member updates. Usually some of you have something to share. I just wanted to formalize putting that at the end of the agenda. So,
Oh,
there's an
thank you.
opportunity to have any updates or comments. That's why that is there.
Yeah, actually, I would like to say something about the Skirvin Park.
Mhm.
On April. Hang on a second. I'll make sure I got my dates right here. Of course, I didn't bring that information. Why would I?
The 28th, I think.
28th, correct. The Rotary Club will be planting 2 trees that I believe, Chanel is delivering to them to the city, and the trees will be there, and there's going to be all kinds of publication. The newspaper guy is going to be there, the mayor is going to be there, some councillor is going to be there, commissioner, I guess. And so the more crowds, the better. It's going to be a big occasion. Plant 2 trees, the first 2 trees in Skirvin Park.
So it's gonna be an Arbor Day celebration. So the
Yes,
city's
it's an
having
Arbor Day
2
celebration.
Arbor Day recognitions this year.
Yeah.
One is on the 21st, and that's with the schools that we usually do in
Oh,
this event
okay.
too, so.
Mhm.
What date was that?
Yeah.
Linda?
28th of April, and I believe it's, oh dear, I don't know what day of the week it is.
I'm not sure what time was settled on. The last meeting I was
I
in
think-
that it was being discussed, there were a lot of.
I think it
times
was
being
10
determined.
o'clock in the
10
morning.
o'clock.
Yeah.
I think it was,
Friday, isn't it?
yes.
Yes, I think it's Friday.
Yeah.
That's right. Yes.
28th, you said?
Mhm.
I also noticed this happened last year, the benches that were donated by ARP, was it ARP?
Yes,
they're dug out was it just in the city park?
Yes,
Okay, they're
Mhm.
dug out, but I'm assuming they're waiting
waiting for weather, having weather issues this year.
for summer if
Yes.
we ever have one.
Yes, but the park, the grant funds that we got from AARP for the benches at City Park, they are working on getting those in. So we were supposed to have them in by December 31st, but I reached out to them and said this, first of all, getting the benches with all the delays and ordering took forever. Then I said, now it's winter, and they said, hey, we just keep us posted. We're happy that you're putting them in. So they've been really gracious.
Are these
about doing
new
that.
benches?
They are new benches.
How many?
I think there's 6.
Oh, great. And are they going to be spaced around the
Yeah,
park?
they're all over. That we had a meeting. I don't know if you were
Yes,
there.
I do remember.
So they're generally in those locations,
Mm,
Public Works, and I
okay.
went out with that map and we
Mhm.
tried to find
And they
areas
have-
that were close.
They have them framed up, they just,
Mhm.
there's no.
I was wondering what.
Yeah,
was
yeah.
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 Yeah. so
Oh,
there'll be
that's
more seating
great.
in
I
the
mean, there
park.
haven't been benches in that park ever. Which is nice.
Be nice.
Yeah, great. Thank you.
Any other updates or comments from board members? Any
I
updates?
think so.
Right now,
No, not related to this particular,
no, because the Lions Club isn't really back in full swing yet.
yeah.
By the way, the Lions Club is planning to do the hamburgers and hot dogs again for the music in the park.
On
Thursday evenings, right?
Mhm.
Thursday,
Thursday?
just on
Yeah,
Thursday.
but not
Just on
Sunday.
We
Thursday.
have met up.
Yes,
for
and then
Sunday.
the.
I don't know, yeah, I
yeah,
haven't talked to them
yeah,
since
because
they
of
got
what-
back.
They just got back.
Yeah, they just got back, so I'm planning to see her soon and I'll ask her.
What's happening on Sunday?
Maybe Mud Oven, we're not 100% sure.
Oh,
because I
that's the
haven't been
pizza
able to
people. Oh,
confirm.
yes.
They live right across the street from me. I'm pretty sure I talked to them about it. And they said they're going to.
Yeah,
Cater, I've never heard of them.
They have
They're-
a trailer,
yeah, they
fire
do
stuff.
required pizza
Oh, okay.
and they do,
Portable. pizza
some
oven.
community pizza events where some of the events they do are set prices, sometimes they'll do like a pop-up, community event, it's like pay as you can. So
Cool.
they do, some different,
They
Options there.
do it in the one down here by the library,
Oh, yeah, the market.
the market.
Summer market.
make them there tomorrow.
Mhm. Yeah.
We have one.
So the Parks Board doesn't have anything to do with the Sunday market, right?
No.
Okay, Okay.
Mm-mm. No,
but that's
They-
starting
they just
in
do
May,
days
is it? Do you know off the top? of your head?
May, I think Memorial Day weekend.
Oh, at the end of the month then. Okay,
Mhm.
okay.
Yeah, I think that was going to be their
That's
first.
why I was playing the
I've
thing,
been
took off.
talking- I'm not sure if it's
Yeah.
park related,
Okay.
but just wanted to bring it
Yeah.
up. I was talking with someone in the community and they live on 13th Street. They live almost directly across from Skirvin Park.
Yes,
And because they live so close to the park, a lot of people cross right in front of their house to get to the park from that neighborhood on the other side of 13th.
drive.
And
or
they've
walk?
noticed a lot of speeders and apparently they've talked with PPD. Not really getting anywhere with that. Is there anything like parks wise, of like, I'm thinking not a sidewalk, a crosswalk or signs or some sort of slow down safety issue? Or could I direct this person in the community somewhere else?
Well, yes, definitely start with police department.
Mhm.
If they feel like they haven't gotten anywhere there, they should reach out to, Chris.
I think 13th Street's still a county road.
Yeah, it's part of the problem. I don't believe that that's our,
Oh, it's ours.
our jurisdiction
Okay.
currently.
On one side is the city and the other side. is
Yeah,
not.
I don't know all the
No, I don't
jurisdictions.
think that cities.
But Skirvin Park is in the city, isn't it?
I think they.
Yeah, it's not
is
the
now.
property, like it's the road itself. I'm not sure which jurisdiction the road is. So if it is county,
Mhm.
any signage or anything you do, the road
Yeah.
has to be approved by the
By the
county.
county.
And often the larger you get in roadway jurisdictions, the less they will slow people down.
Hmm.
That's their whole purpose for roads is getting people places as fast as they should be going, not speeding.
Yeah.
So
So
yeah.
there.
Definitely, I will pass it on that it came up but they should, reach out to the city manager and see what we can look at with
That
that.
would be interesting to see how far down 13th Street the city has jurisdiction and where does the county start?
Yeah, I don't know.
Where does it change to
It
Fern
might be
Road?
all the way out
Yeah.
to Chapel. Yeah, I've heard discussions about it.
Yeah, it's.
That's why it goes up to 45 past travel.
Yeah, it just feels very strange to me that I don't know that. But my last city, I knew every single jurisdiction of every road.
You'll get there.
Yeah, and we had a nice map too online. I wonder if we have that here, because that was good too. But yeah, that's what they should do.
Okay.
Good.
So do you have anything else?
I don't
see
think
anything on
so.
my paperwork.
May 2nd is our next meeting.
With that,
May 2nd is our next meeting.
is that the first Tuesday in May?
I don't know yet.
Yes, May 2nd, the
job,
first
Larry.
Tuesday in May. Good job. Yep, okay, I guess that's
5:30.
it. You going to adjourn the meeting, Dale?
Yeah,
Okay.
meeting adjourned.
Alright.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. So Chelsea, you'll get us some more of these.
You wanna hand me a few of those?
You said you wanted that.
She got us few.
The bigger one.
Oh, but she's gonna be making